Marvel Rivals has been giving me a lot of mixed feelings. Currently, I'm pretty depressed, and maybe even a little sticky. But for the most part, the main feeling that I've felt with this game is surprise. It surprised the hell out of me. Because at first, when I saw it, I thought, hey, it's just looking like some kind of cheap Overwatch knockoff with Marvel characters. Kind of like when they originally announced, oh, hey, we're making a new fighting game. Whoa, get excited, guys. And then it turned out to be a shitty mobile game called Marvel Contest of Champions, I think. But, I mean, they've been making some good stuff recently with the Spider-Man games and Marvel Snap, so I was like, you know what, screw it, I'll be a little optimistic with it. But what I found was not only a game that has, like, an insane amount of love put behind it, but it's also just an incredibly fun, chaotic fuckfest of a game that I thoroughly recommend, and I'm gonna tell you why right now. Is a Bone Man, and let's get into this shit. Let's answer the first big question. Is Marvel Rivals an Overwatch clone? Yes. And no. So while it uses character abilities and character archetypes that were popularized in Overwatch all the way back in 2016, I personally feel like they took those core abilities and ideas and just amplified the shit out of them. I mean, if you look at, like, say, Insomniac Spider-Man, they did a similar thing where Insomniac Spider-Man is so good because it's built off the bones of shittier Spider-Man games. Well, I'd say shittier, but also let's just say not great, because they have some bit of fun to them, like Amazing Spider-Man, the movie tie-in game, Amazing Spider-Man 2. It uses the bones of those games to make itself so much better than all the other Spider-Man games. I mean, hell, even if you want to go back even a little bit further in the 360 era, the superhero game Prototype used the discarded foreskin of Hulk Ultimate Destruction to be as good as it is. So superhero games building on each other and kind of riffing on each other is nothing new. It's nothing too crazy. Like, if you want to be uber critical about it, you could be correct in saying, like, yeah, it is a clone. But at the same time, this is just how genre games work, man. Like, it's nothing too crazy. And frankly, I'm loving that they got as close as they did. I mean, like, to me, they use the character abilities to help, in my opinion, line up the knowledge you have of Overwatch characters and how this type of game usually plays with the things you imagine the Marvel character actually doing. Like, of course freaking Hulk is going to be leaping around. Of course freaking Iron Man is never going to touch the ground and constantly be flying around shooting projectiles from above. Like, it's all pretty on point, and it just feels amazing. Like the way I would describe how this game plays is it feels kind of like the old PS2 superhero games, if any of y'all have played that. Kind of like something akin to, like I said, Hulk Ultimate Destruction. Freaking amazing. Mostly, though, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, dude. Like, if you've played any of those games where they feel really fun, but they're also just a little messy, like a little fucked up, it feels amazing, man. And just doing that kind of superhero chaos in a 6 versus 6 like multiplayer game with everyone popping off, freaking rockets flying left and right, fists flying all over the place. Like, the amount of chaos that happens in this game is just so much goddamn fun, dude. Like, it is extremely, extremely fun. And that's the main thing I take away from the game, is just how damn fun it is. My thing and why I love it so much is because it reminds me of another game that happens to not be Overwatch, but I would say it plays way closer to a crazy fast-paced game called Marvel vs. Capcom. And I know you're probably like, what the fuck? That's a fighting game. How the hell? No, it has the same pacing where, and hell, even just learning characters, understanding the game, it's all pretty damn similar to Marvel vs. Capcom. And I love that. I love those games, and I love that I'm going through a similar process in a team-based shooter instead of a fighting game. So what I mean is you look at gameplay for Marvel vs. Capcom and you're like, what the actual hell am I looking at? It is insane. People are flying all over the place. It is just sheer insanity. And then you touch it and you learn a character and you learn combos and you're like, oh, okay, I'm kind of understanding what I'm seeing a little bit. And then you throw yourself into some matches. Your brain explodes 5 or 6 times because you're like, what the hell is actually happening? But then, slowly and surely, you start to make progress with learning your character. And you're like, oh, I'm getting kills. And I'm winning. Oh, I'm actually contributing. And you realize that, oh, I've just controlled the chaos, and I'm learning how to control it while being successful at the same time. And it's just such a rewarding feeling, dude.
Like, whoever's idea it was to have a multiplayer game with just pure superhero movement and just complete freedom of what you want to do control-wise on the map, oh my god, it's just such a shit show, but I love it, and personally, you know what? We kiss that guy. So, another one of the cool things, too, is you actually want to progress because, you know what? Big brain move, they made the game third person. Who would have guessed that in a game where you know, want them to buy skins? Well, you know what, instead of, instead of just doing it first person so people have really pretty hands, maybe they should have just, took another thing from the game they're trying to copy, Fortnite. Everyone wants the big Fortnite money. Maybe just make the game third person, because not only do you get to look at the cool skins you buy, like, all the time, so there's an actual reason, it also, surprise, surprise, helps out with the spatial awareness. Like, in Overcock, you get so, confused, at least for me and my buddies. We got so, freaking wrapped up in, we got a bunch of effects going on the screen, you got fucking, 4 people gunning you down, and it's just hard to really tell what's going on. But even with all the chaos of this game, it's still easier to tell what's going on because it's third person, and I really appreciate that. And even then, just their early on Battle Pass concept, I fuck with it, because the skins, oh my god, just the early offset skins they offer you are so good. And even you can tell where I made that MVC comparison, because the permanent skin you earn in this thing is Cyan Venom, so it makes sense. But you know what, while we're on it, let's just talk about how not everything with the game is rainbows and Venom backshots. So unfortunately, even when I was playing on the PS Vita, there were some issues, like performance issues, mostly with the destructible environments and little Doctor Strange's cool-ass portal. While I appreciate the destructible environments and what they actually add to fights, not only do they add spectacle, but they add a level of strategy where somebody might have a really good vantage point and you just need to knock that shit down. Well, it doesn't actually work when the game tweaks to 20 frames per second, you know what I'm saying? For the most part, the game runs really well, which is a fucking miracle with all the bullshit going on, but they definitely need to fix that. And some of the balancing stuff is just a little curious. I get that it's tricky with something like this, but they actually took a balancing method that I kind of fuck with heavily, where most of it's skill-based, and most of it is, you know what, let's make everyone OP, so, no one is. And it not only does it, make losses feel less stinky, but it also it feels pretty cool when you're just you know what, fuck it, they got this weird bullshit, but I'm gonna go around and get their ass. I keep coming back to him because I love playing his ass, but Hulk, you're what the hell am I supposed to do against people who are up in the air and fucking with me? Because his jump goes so far, you could actually snatch people out of the air and bring them down. So even if you're getting messed up by someone in the air, and say your whole team has gone melee, you still have an option of just being nope, fuck you, it got your ass. But you need to be skillful about how you actually grab them out of the air, where you aim, and kind of predicting what their movement's gonna be. So I don't know. It's weird, but at the same time, I kind of fuck with it. So we'll just see how they do with balancing there. However, there are some people who need some fucking booty touches. Like Frank, goddamn, Frank is so goddamn good. Like, I get that he's like a really good starting character, but at the same time, whew, that man melts you if you fucking let him. Like, I've obviously countered his ass a lot with Rocket Raccoon, because no one looks for the little fucking feral rabied raccoon boy, but he's pretty rough if you let him do his shit. But and Hella too, Hella's crazy, and Venom mainly is the one who is just like you if your team's not focusing on him, you're not killing Venom. Like, Venom is way too overtuned in my opinion right now. Everyone else though, like, it's kind of hard because balance wise, like I said, I can't really put my finger on like what exactly I would change besides minor damage or minor damage nerf. Besides that, I don't know. Like, the balance, I can see what they're doing, and even some of the things they implemented, like even in competitive was miserable, by the way. I mostly did quick play. But competitive, even at higher levels of competitive, they let you ban characters that you don't want to see in the match, which I think is already a fucking great step in the right direction. And I think it's one character you like absolutely can keep and that the other team can't ban. So that's awesome. Yeah, no, it's great. But the main problem I have with the game is just, it's not specifically with this game, but it's with team-based shooters in general. I get that it's like free to play and some people don't get it because they want to play everything like Call of Duty, but like, oh my god, these fucking people you run into sometimes. Like, sometimes you'll get a team and most of the team will go DPS, and they have like 1 kill and like fucking 7 deaths, and it just makes me want to claw my fucking eyes out, dude. I know it's probably a tutorial issue, because to be frank, the tutorial's not great. If they had like character mastery kind of missions to improve a certain character, I would fuck with that. But right now, oh my god, you run into people and you're like, oh my god, these motherfuckers just crawl out of the goddamn primordial ooze, and someone handed them a controller and they're like, have fun, little Timmy. And little Timmy is fucking drooling on the ground and just fucking trying to figure it out. Like, okay, if you are going to play these type of games, I just think personally, as someone who is like kind of mid at games in general, I think maybe you should just have your kills slightly above your death ratios, and as long as you can do that, you're a-okay on the fucking team. You're doing your fucking due diligence. But like, most of these motherfuckers, oh my fucking god, they really make me want to have a nice romantic bath with my goddamn toaster. Like, holy shit, dude, holy fucking shit. Oh, it's so, it's not great. It's not great. But, you know what the great thing is about this game compared to other games like this? When the match ends, and you're wallowing in despair, you then have to wait like another fucking 5 minutes to find another match. And you just really sit in it. You really sit in your pool of piss. But in this game, as soon as if you have a shitty match, you just, guess what? One more round, baby. Press one button, immediately finds you another match, and you're back in it. So you don't really have a lot of downtime to worry about what a shitty time you had. And I know moments like that, when they happen, me and my buddies are like, oh my god, this just feels like Overwatch again. But like, to me personally, that one more round button really alleviated a lot of that fucking piss trickling that happens when you get a really bad team. And also, again, just guys, just a little tip. If you don't know what to do, and if you guys are losing a bunch, just focus the healers and then focus the DPS. Don't I'm not even gonna get into it. Just, But again, I hope they have way better tutorials in the future. But really, besides those complaints, another thing, and probably the last thing to me, because honestly, again, I love this fucking game to pieces. I am so sad it's gone. We really don't know how the monetization is going to go down. I'm hoping it's just skins and the battle pass, but we don't know how it's gonna go. But the game, like, at its, just as a product right now, I'm actually incredibly optimistic for it. I'm also optimistic because NetEase, the people who actually worked on it, this is gonna be very specific, but they worked on another little game franchise that I know pretty well, and a lot of people on my channel would probably know. It's a little game called Dead by Daylight. And they worked on the mobile version, which a lot of people argue is the best version of Dead by Daylight because they just offer so many more rewards and skins and unique events and stuff. So I don't know. You know what? I'm just gonna let NetEase cook and see what happens. And hopefully, I'm really hoping, like, if it doesn't have good monetization, this game will fucking fall on its face. But let's just hope for the best. So in general, I think as soon as the next couple betas drop, like I'm thinking y'all need to get on this shit. Like, it's so fucking fun. It is so goddamn good. I hope they make getting keys less of a pain in the dick because in the past it's really sucked. Overall, just I'm looking forward to this goddamn thing. And as a final little thing, you know what? Characters I want to see, goddammit, let's fucking go. Because that's one of the other things that I'm just looking forward to a bunch. Like, y'all gotta get some X-Men in that bitch. Wolverine, Deadpool, Nightcrawler, fucking Rogue, Gambit, dude. Like, y'all, like, this thing, it has the opportunity to just print fucking money if they do it right. And, let's see, Luke Cage, Ghost Rider. No, Ghost Rider's crazy to me right now. Daredevil, dude. Oh my god. Like, even they already showed they can get weird with it. Like, they got Jeff the Shark in this bitch. Like, who? And then I'm like, oh, he's a little fella. I love him. So do that. Like, I know they have some kind of cooler, weirder original characters. Like, I know there's this one chick called like Moon Girl, and she has like a dinosaur. So if they want to get silly with it, they could do some weird shit with that too. And I'm down for it. I'm very excited to see who they add and what kind of stuff to. And you know what? Also put Moon Knight in that shit. Like, imagine the type of dialogue that little fella would have with the characters. Like, that shit would be hilarious. But, yeah, no, that overall, Marvel Rivals is looking great, guys. And I personally think out of the sea of fucking goofy mid-ass, like, fucking live service games, this one is actually looking pretty goddamn spectacular. But there is one question that remains. Is it going to be the Overwatch killer? And I think people who ask this are really avoiding the real question, where is this game going to be the Concord killer? Oh.